Ford of Murfreesboro,
and the all-new Ford Lincoln of Franklin are kicking off football season. We're going deep on the discounts and long on the savings.
during Ford's Great American Tailgate event.
Twice the deals on double the selection.
Score big on acres of Fords.
I've got grand opening specials like the new Escape for $18,995.
And I'm kicking off football season with new Fusion starting at $17,987.
Plus our 3-day exchange policy.
And a lifetime warranty.
Get to Ford Lincoln of Franklin.
And Ford of Murfreesboro today.
Hello and welcome to the Tennessean's Bernard Pollard Show. We are presented every week by Sleep Outfitters, and we are here live at Sleep Outfitters this week in Cool Springs. Hi everybody, thanks for being here. So we are once again without the star of our show, Bernard. He is at home recovering from Achilles surgery. We've been told by the doctor that he can't come out of the house until he has a boot on his foot so he can walk around. It's supposed to happen next week, so we hope that he's going to be back next week. But until then, we are pleased to have Blidi Wreh-Wilson here. Thanks for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So he is going to sit and talk with Jim and John a little bit about last week's game and spring forward to next week's game. So take it away, guys.
Yeah, I guess, Blidi, you're coming a good week because I know Bernard, after the last couple of weeks, been a tough stretch for you guys having to answer for the losses, and now you come in here after a win. Just what was the mood like in the locker room after the game? Just what has it done? What has a win over Jacksonville done to kind of change the outlook inside the building?
You know, the past couple of weeks we had a couple games that didn't really go our way, so it was kind of good to get the ball rolling and kind of get the season going on the right foot. We feel like that was a good opportunity for us, and we ended up playing 60 minutes of football, and we got a good win.
Yeah, Blidi, your day personally, can you talk a little bit about obviously you'd missed the previous week with the concussion. Can you take us through a little bit about going through that concussion protocol and then bouncing back with the big day that you had against Jacksonville?
Yeah, the concussion protocol it's kind of difficult because you can't do a lot, and there's a lot of eyes on you and monitoring symptoms and things like that. And my symptoms, they actually lasted up before the game, so I wasn't able to play, and that was hard because you saw the losing to the Browns at the end of the game. There was a lot of intensity you could tell by our team, and we just wanted to get that win. We weren't able to. So coming in the next week, I just wanted to make sure during the week I could prepare, just make sure that I'd be ready to go and match the intensity from my teammates.
And obviously, the show's different without Bernard here. Playing on Sundays, I guess, is different without Bernard Pollard. You've been around him. He's a guy that's not quiet. I mean, he kind of lets people hear about it, probably inside the huddle on the field. He's like that during the course of the week. What was it like without him on Sunday, and how did you think some of the guys did, whether it's George Wilson, Marqueston Huff, some of the guys that stepped in, Damian Stafford, that played in his place?
Yeah, it made a lot of guys. We had to match his loudness. He's a very loud guy, and he makes a lot of checks, and he's a leader out there. So it forced guys to step up, and it was the next man up mentality.
And your day, Blidi, against Jacksonville, had your first career interception and 11 tackles. What were you doing so well? And I wonder if does it help at all taking that week off and watching from afar? Did that help at all when you came back into the lineup against Jacksonville?
Yeah, I mean, Cody and Brent Harris, they went out there and they played hard, they played tough, and they played well. So for me, coming back in and coaches saying that I was gonna be the starter again, it showed a lot of trust in me, and I just had to make sure that I was gonna go out on the field and just do my job.
I know you guys all have each other's back, and I know Michael Griffin was especially hard on himself after the game. He felt like he was responsible for giving up a long pass. He felt like he should have gotten on that loose ball on the onside kick. Some guys already, ribbing him. I guess Jason McCourty's already given him a hard time. He's been around him longer than you. Are you at a point now you can give Griff a little bit of an ear after a couple of days, or you have to tread lightly around him still?
I still tread lightly around Griff. Griff's he's a good guy, and you can tell what kind of guy he is. He held himself accountable after what he felt was not his best game. So for him to say that just shows a lot about him, and that's big to have guys like that on your team.
Well, Blidi, let's take a little bit of a look forward here, maybe look ahead to Washington a little bit. Maybe one guy that always comes to mind here with Washington is Deshaun Jackson, probably one of the fastest guys in the league. What's it like to go up against a guy with a great speed like a Deshaun Jackson?
Yeah, he's a big play threat. So when you play him, you have to make sure you're technically sound and just make sure that you can kind of make him do what you want him to do, because he's a guy, when he gets the ball in his hands, he's dangerous.
And one thing they've done, I mean, Kirk Cousins has thrown for a heck of a lot of yards this year already, but he's also thrown a lot of picks. I think he's got 7 interceptions in the last 3 games, 8 on the season. I think that leads the league. You guys probably have an opportunity to make some plays because they're going to be putting the ball in the air. Is this a big day for the corners, you think? And are you going to need some of those kind of game-changing plays to put yourself in a position to win, you think?
Yeah, anytime you can turn the offense over and just get the ball, that's big for the team. But we understand that they have good skill positions. They have athletic tight ends, good receivers, and a good back. And like you said, Cousins is doing a good job throwing the ball around. So we just know we have to go out there, and if we can make a play, we have to make it just so it can impact the game in a positive way.
I was going to ask you, I know you guys had 6 sacks in the last game against Jacksonville. How much did that help in that game? And looking forward to Washington, how much does that help the secondary when there's an awful lot of pressure on the quarterback?
Yeah, it goes hand to hand. There's the coverage with the rush and the rush with the coverage. The rush did a good job. They got 6 sacks for us, and that helps us out in the coverage. We don't have to cover as long, and if there's times where we have to cover longer, we know that they're gonna work and they're gonna get home.
I know this is a kind of a 1 week at a time, 1 game at a time league. You got to have that mentality. But you guys obviously got a bye week coming up, 2 games away. I'm sure Coach probably made you aware of that, and maybe some incentive, during the bye week if you could find a way to win a couple of games. How important is it to get to 4-4 and give yourself a chance to kind of be in contention here in the second half of the season? You got Washington this week, Texans the following week.
Yeah. Right now we have a stretch of two tough teams. Both teams, they're quality football teams, and we understand what we have to do going towards the bye week, but we still have to make sure we take it day by day and just prepare the right way. Make sure that we're taking care of the little details. So say we win 2 straight, maybe Coach he'll help us out, and maybe just say, that the bye week we might be able to do something there.
Maybe take the week off.
Maybe something like that.
Yeah.
Blidi, maybe if you could pick, say, 1 or 2 things that the defense is trying to improve on most as you look ahead to Washington. What do you think the defense is concentrating on most?
I'd say that we have to make sure that we don't give up the big play. In that opening drive, that really got them 7 points, and they didn't score again till the end of the game. So if we can limit the big plays and just make sure that we just play team defense, then we should be okay.
I'm going to ask you a quick one about Damian Stafford. I mentioned, George Wilson, Marquez and Huff, a couple of guys that stepped in. Damian Stafford's a young guy who made some plays in the preseason. I also get the sense he's kind of maybe a mini Bernard Pollard. At least, he likes to do a little talking. What's he like in the locker room, and how you like his personality?
Staff, he takes the personality of all 3 of the veteran safeties. He's got a little George, a little BP, and a little Griff. So he does a good job in the locker room of just keeping guys laughing. That's one thing about him. He jokes a lot, and he keeps the environment friendly and fun. You
got to check him every once in a while, being a rookie. You have to maybe put him in his place a little bit. A rookie, you check him.
Staff and I, we're the same year.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, because he was kind of in the background, I guess, a little bit last year. That's true. So you guys know each other really well.
We know each other pretty well.